Good morning, everyone. Okay, I think I'm finally ready to start my journey into silver glass. And I want to go on this journey with all of you too. So here we go. First of all, I just want to say that I am a newbie at silver glass. I've been making glass beads since 2003, but I just started playing with silver glass like in December. This is brand new to me. I'm going to go through my trials and tribulations with you, show you what works for me as a noob, give you some food for thoughts, so on and so forth. So this is Triton, and I'm going to show you how to reduce it today. In my tutorials, I want to take this really piecemeal and modularly and in section by section. I want to go slow because this glass, there is a lot to it. Oh my gosh, there's so much out there about this glass. And there's so much technique involved in working with this glass. And so I found that for me, it just helps to go really slow. So today I want to talk about just reducing Triton. And that's the extent of what we're going to do today, is just reduce Triton. There's a lot to it. Anyways, the first thing that I do when I started with this silver glass is I do research, because it just helps. A lot of people are out there on Facebook and the Double Helix website. They have a lot of information, a lot of tips and tricks about different technique that you can use and how to troubleshoot problems. So what I did is I joined one Facebook group called Lampwork 104 Silver Glass. And in the search box, I put the word Triton. And I just started reading the posts and looking at the pictures of all the Triton beads that had this reduction done to it. So there was a lot of really, really good tips on that Facebook page that really helped me reduce this glass. The second place that I go to is I go to the Double Helix website, and I looked up the glass Triton, and in the description of the actual glass, they'll tell you like how to reduce it or encase it. Granted, the instructions aren't real good, but it helps. It helps a lot. So yeah, I would recommend, before you start working on any particular glass, whether it's Triton or Archie or Phoebe or whatever Double Helix has, do a little research first. Look at all the pictures on Instagram. Look at the pictures on those Facebook pages, and check out the Double Helix site, especially the description for the glass you're working with, and check out their how to learn pages, because they have a couple of videos and articles and snap guides that will really help you work with this glass and avoid some of the frustration you might feel. So that is my plan for this glass. Today we're going to talk about reducing Triton, and let's get started. All right, I'm going to try to go through this step by step. So the first step when I walk into my studio is to turn on my kiln. And if you look at the Double Helix website, they recommend that you anneal these beads at 930 degrees. Now, for my other beads, I usually anneal at 960 for about an hour, but I found that when I did that, I started to lose a lot of that silvery luster, and I think my kiln was too hot. So I have a special program for silver glass where I turn down my kiln to 930 degrees, and I'm going to anneal these beads for an hour at 930. So I have like Monday is going to be silver day or Tuesday will be silver day, and then the rest of the week I do my standard beads. So that would be like tip number one. is turn down your kiln, because if you put your beads in and they're all shiny and metallic, and then you pull them out and you lost all of that, this probably means your kiln is too hot. So 930 for about an hour, and that way you won't lose that shiny silver coating. Okay, speaking of shiny silver coatings, this is what reduced beads kind of look like. This coating, it's called a luster, is what the lamp workers call it, what double helix call it. And depending on the glass you work with, you can get different lusters. This one is Triton over here, this red one, and this dark blue. This is also Triton that I did, and I got some teals and some purples and some gold out of it. This one is like a gold luster. Oops, I'm trying to do this. This is a gold luster. I totally forgot what glass I was using when I did this, but I thought it was so cool. This is like a dark blue luster on a blue background. I think this was Chronos, which is my new favorite silver glass because it's so pretty. I got a silver one here that I don't remember the name, but it's very, very silver and pretty. And I think this one is Arky. There we go. There's Arky. And it's got some teals and purples and golds and blues and greens and just a really, really pretty luster. So, of course, when I first did this, I looked at it. I live with a motorhead, and I thought, chrome, it looks like electroplated chrome, but we're going to call it luster. I'm going to try not to call it chrome. My husband has corrupted me in the car world. But yeah, that is what we're looking for today. Okay, I'm going to start out here with a little base bead of white. I think I said in my other videos that this glass is kind of expensive, and so one of the ways that you can be cost effective with it is to put it on a base bead. And you can use any 104 color that you like. I like white because it kind of helps the Triton stand out, but certainly I would say give it a try with like transparent blue or clear, or I don't know, maybe the turquoises, any kind of color you want. But just keep in mind that you don't want to make ginormous beads with just the silver glass because it is expensive. And if you put it on a base bead, you can cut some of those costs. Now, I am torching this right now in kind of an oxidizing flame. If you go back and you review that flame video I did last week, this flame has a little bit of a hiss. So it is a little bit oxidizing. And the reason for that is you don't want to prematurely reduce your silver. You can't reduce it before it's ready. So I use a semi-neutral, halfway oxidizing flame, and it is hot, but I run hot anyways, so this way I know that I'm not going to accidentally reduce my silver glass before I'm ready. And I'm just going to marver it into a little barrel here. You basically work it the same way as you work other glass, and the reducing comes right at the end. Okay, the next step that I do for this glass, it's called a reset. And some of the reduction glass requires a reset and some of it doesn't. But I do it to all the glass that I'm reducing anyways. It's kind of inherent to just shaping your bead. And what reset means is you get it hot enough to where there's just a little glow on the outside, like a glowing little skin. Not super, super hot, not soupy, just hot enough to shape the bead to the way you want to shape it. And then we start cooling. And cooling is really, really important. If you don't cool your bead enough, you're not going to get the reduction. So you need to cool it. And double helix, they're reticent to say, oh, cool it for 10 seconds, cool it for 20 seconds, because of course, cooling, it's a factor of the size of your bead, how big it is, how long it's in the flame. So what they recommend, and what I've seen other people recommend, is to put your bead under your table where it's dark to see if it's still glowing. And you basically want to cool your bead until there's no glow left. So let me reposition my camera and I'll give you a little example of what that means. Okay, here comes my bead. There it is. It's hot. It's going under my bench where it's dark. It's starting to cool. The glow's going away. It's still there. When I look at it like with my naked eye, kind of lift up your glasses, then you can see that it's cooling sufficiently. Okay, once your bead is cool, it is time to reduce. And if you read the description for Triton, it says work in a neutral flame, allow to cool for a few seconds, reheat far out in a large reducing flame. For the multicolor satin effect, work in the tip of a large reduction flame, let cool, and then reduce again. So what I do is, you can keep your bead warm, just warm enough so it doesn't crack in the far reaches of your torch. And what I do is I bring my torch down to kind of a neutral, and then I turn up the propane. And I have right there about a 2-inch flame. I think this is pretty much a reduction flame because it has a sharp pointy end right there. And that's what I use. I don't use a big giant blasting flame for this. I use a reduction flame. And so that I think is a good place to start. So then it says, work in the tip of a large reduction flame. So to me, this is the tip. So let's give it a shot. Oh, I'm probably gonna burn my fingers now because I just put it in the fire. So let's see, I don't know if you guys are gonna, oops, sorry. I have a lamp. Hopefully we'll be able to see the reduction, but let's give it a shot. So my bead is cool. Let me check. Yep, put it under the table, it's cool. I'm gonna put it in the tip and I'm just gonna rotate it. Maybe one rotation, and then pull it out, and let's see. Did I get anything? Did anything happen? No, not yet. All right, let's try it again. And sometimes it helps to take your glasses off. The problem with that is that the flame is so bright that it's really hard to see. And oh, I can see it now. So sometimes you have to move it away from the flame. All right, oh my gosh, it's getting that really chromy luster. Let me see if I can get this focus. See how it's getting, it's a dark blue, almost black chrome. And that is Triton reduced. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. I made another bead here and I put this board underneath because I really want my camera to focus on the bead and not on my workbench. So I'm just heating this bead up and we're gonna go ahead and reduce it. So let me show you, I of course have a process of reduction. So right now I am heating this bead up. I'm gonna pull it out of the flame and then while it's cooling, I reset my flame to that reducing flame. And then I throw my bead under the table and I see that it's still got a little bit of glow to it. So I'm just sitting here waiting, playing with my flame, futzing around, and it's a big bead, so it's taking a while for the glow to go away. All right, that looks good. Then I pull my bead out from under the table and I'm ready to go. So let's reduce this. Oh, that happened fast. Oh, I saw the blue like right away. Oh, and I know you guys can't see this because it's a dark glass, but I'm seeing blues and purples and greens. Now, one of the things about this glass that us geeks like to call variability, it has variability. meaning that you get different effects depending on the variables that you use. And one of those is the number of times that you reduce it. So what I do, Triton has like blues and greens and teals and golds sometimes. What I do is I do multiple reductions. So you put it in the flame multiple times, give it a spin, pull it out, and let it cool, and then put it back in the flame and pull it out and let it cool. And you can actually see the colors starting to develop. I know you can't see them on my camera. I'm really going to try to fix that. And what I'm doing is I'm only reducing one side of this bead to try and show you the difference between multiple reductions and maybe just one reduction. And oh man, I wish I could get this better. Don't break, little bead. What I'm seeing is teals and blues and greens all coming out on this side, some purples, but this side is saying that dark kind of black luster that it gets the first time around. So this is this would be something that I would recommend you guys try in a test, multiple reductions. And some of the stuff, it takes up to like 20 times reducing it for colors to really bloom. So, you know, put it in there, give it a rotate, pull it out, count to 5 or 10 to let it cool, and you'll see those colors start to bloom. There we go. The other thing you can do in this reduction process is called, I call it a spot reduction. And that is, once you get all of the bead reduced, you can turn your flame back to an oxidizing flame and pick out little spots and just heat them up to glowing, and that resets the bead. So now you've got areas of your bead, some of which are reduced and some of which are reset. See, this is the original color of that Triton right there. And this is all the chrome, the luster. Sorry, double helix. This is all the luster from the reducing. So you can do these little spot reductions where you reset areas to back to the original color. And this, of course, goes for if you really, really hate your bead and how it reduced, go ahead and reset it. This is where the glass is very forgiving. You can heat it up all the way back to that reset phase where it is back to its original color. So heat it up until it's glowing, not super hot. And it'll go back to its original rod color. And then you can reduce it again. Now this one, check it out. I'm getting, oh, you can't see it. It's driving me crazy. This one is actually getting some blue cloud in it from the reset. So that's kind of neat. All right, let me reduce it again, see what we get. I'm going to, it's cooling, resetting my torch to neutral. There's my reduction flame. It's cool. Here we go, in. Wow, now I'm getting a lot of greens coming out of there. Very neat. All right, let me give you guys a little swirl here. This is Triton after I reduced it once, reset it, and reduced it again. And you can see the blues and the golds and the teals and the purples, and it's all got that shiny luster chrome finish on it. Oh, I love this bead. It's going in the kiln before it cracks. Okay, let me just talk a little bit about the ugly fuglies. There is a chance that you can over reduce your bead, and when you over reduce it, it looks like this. It's brown and it's got this milky, cloudy, tarnished silver look to it. It's ugly. ugly. This reminds me, I have a Chihuahua with a cataract, and this is what her eyeball looks like. All cloudy and brown and milky and yucky. So when this happens to you though, don't worry about it. Just go ahead, put your oxidizing flame back on, heat the bead up until it glows, and just reset it. And then try again with the reduction to see if you can get rid of that over-reducing effect. Now, I don't know how many resets you can do on this glass. I haven't really tested that yet. Right now, I don't think I've ever gone over like 3 or 4 resets. So maybe just be aware in the back of your mind, there might be a limit on how many resets you can do with this glass. But yeah, this is one that's been over-reduced, and I would just reset it to glowing and try again. So now you're probably wondering, okay, well, what can I do with this glass? And basically, you can do anything that you do with regular glass. So here's one of my bumpy balls that, I don't know, I don't think this is Triton, but I just put bumps on it, torch it exactly the same way as you would anything else. I pulled a Triton stringer, I put the dots on it, I went ahead and I flashed the dots until they're securely attached, and then I cooled the bead and I reduced it. And this one is my ugly little shard bead that I made. And I went and put a twisty in it, worked it the same way, blew a shard the same way we blow all our shards, put it on the bead, put a twisty in it, then I cooled the bead and I reduced it. And this one, same thing. I made a stringer and I just did some scroll work, melted it in, and then cooled the bead and reduced it. And then this one is just some raised bumps, same type of thing. Just put them on. I used a press to smash the bumps down. Then I cooled the bead and I reduced it. So you can do any type of raised work with silver glass that you do with regular glass, and they come out pretty cool. All right, to end this little tutorial, I just want to say, get out there and play with the glass. Try testing it out using multiple reductions. Maybe try sticking in the reducing flame for a longer period of time. I think I go 3 to 5 seconds, but try 7 to 10 seconds in the reducing flame and see what you get. Maybe you want to try different flames. Try a really hot reduction flame with long, skinny spikies coming out, or try a nice soft brush flame and see what the difference is between the two flames. Of course, you might want to try out the difference between lots of propane and not so much propane. And also the multiple resets. That's where I'm going to go next, is trying like how many resets can I get, and does the glass do different things depending on how many resets that you do with it. So that is my first tutorial on silver glass. You guys, there's so much information out there. There's classes you can take. There's videos on YouTube. There's articles all over the place. There's tutorials on Etsy. So it's just a matter of sucking in all the information like a sponge and then sitting down at the torch and playing. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a while. Our next tutorial is going to be on encasing silver glass and the pearlescent effect that you get with it. So stay tuned for that. Don't know when it's going to be because I need to figure it out. But yeah, this was fun. One last word. You guys know I make a lot of beads for Beads of Courage. These beads are not going to Beads of Courage because some people out there have silver allergies, and so we cannot give Beads of Courage any beads that have exposed silver like these. So these are going to stay home with me. I'm going to give them a little nice place to bed down. Hope you guys enjoyed my first silver glass video. I will be back soon. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great day. Bye.